Shabbos Pei Aleph. How much bone do you have to take out from one rishus to another rishus in order to be chayiv? Tanakama holds enough to make a small spoon, according to Yehuda, enough to make the teeth of a lock. Before you put those teeth into the lock, they don't serve any purpose, so they are tahar, they're not mekabel tuma. Once you put them into a lock, they are mekabel tuma. The pshutei kli etzem, simple pieces of bone that have no shape, have no form, are not like wood, they are like metal that are mekabel tuma. Once you attach them to a gate, they become mechuber lekarka, they become attached to the ground, no longer can they be mekabel tuma. How much glass do you have to take out from one domain to another in order to be chayiv? Enough to sharpen a weaver's tool. Some say enough to cut 2 woven threads from the spool from the loom. A stone. How large of a stone are you chayiv on? Enough that has enough mass that you can throw it at a bird. According to Blessed Ben Yitzchak, it's enough to throw it at a animal, and it has to be significant. The animal feels it. How much? It weighs 10 zuz. Usually, stones are muktzah. However, when it comes to kavod habriyos, human dignity, Chachamim relaxed that restriction. Zunin came into the Beis Medrash and he asked, how many stones is one permitted to bring into the bathroom to use as toilet paper? So they told him 3. And it's the same achloikis, Reb Meir and Yehuda, when it comes to esrog. Reb Meir says that esrog has to be a minimal of a walnut. Reb Yehuda says a minimal of an egg. And the same thing applies here when it comes to the stones. Reb Meir says 3 stones that are the size of a walnut. Reb Yehuda says 3 stones that are the size of an egg. However, the Chacham and the Beis Medrash told Zoinin that it's 3 different sizes. One is the size of an olive, the other is the size of a walnut, and the other one is the size of an egg, and you use them consecutively. Says Zoinin, wait a minute. Does that mean I have to carry around a scale? I have to get the exact measurements? So he said, you're right. The shear is whatever fits into your hand. We don't care. 5 stones, 2 stones, what size, whatever fits into your hand, that is the shear. Rabbi Yanai says, if it's a permanent bathroom, so whatever fits into your hands, because whatever you're not going to use now, you'll use later, so it's not muktzah on Shabbos for no reason. However, if it's not a permanent bathroom, then the shear is ke'echreya, like the compromise, meaning the middle shear. We have olive, walnut, egg, the middle one, the size of a walnut. Rabbi Yehuda says it's also to use for toilet paper. You're not allowed to use something called payas, which are pebbles that crumble. Rava says you're not allowed to. They would, in order, if somebody was constipated, they would massage with some sort of stone. So you're not allowed to massage on Shabbos with a stone or sand because of the issur of goizes you might come to shear here. But if you do it k'la'achar yad, instead of holding it with a full hand, you hold it with 2 fingers, that's mutter. If you take a mortar, which is designed to crush something, so it's klisha malachta l'issur, and you want to use that for toilet paper, if it has remnants that somebody else used it before, so nobody's going to use this any longer for klisha malachta l'issur, you're not going to use it for food, then it's mutter to use it for toilet paper. What if it got washed off with rainwater? If you can still see some remnants, it's mutter. The Gemara has a kasha though. There are 10 things that enhance or help the ability to have hemorrhoids. One of them is using a stone that somebody else used already. How could you say that you use it now? So the Gemara brings 3 tirutzim. It's also to use a stone that somebody else used when it's moist, or if it was used on both sides. Or it's a stone that somebody else used, and here we're dealing with a stone that you yourself used. What are the other 9 things? The Gemara says, if you eat reed leaves or grape leaves or rigid meat like tongue, esophagus, beisakoisis without salt, the spine of a fish, herring that's not completely cooked, the sediment of wine, leaves, if somebody uses lime or earthenware for toilet paper. And some say even somebody that hangs himself to straighten out his neck in the bathroom. What about doing extra tircha on Shabbos, carrying up these stones for toilet paper to the top floor? Kavod habriyos allows us, you see in the Torah was relaxed when it comes to Hashavas Aveda. If somebody's zaken b'enev lefichvoidai, a Talmud Chacham doesn't have to return on Aveda if it's below his dignity, so too Chacham will be relaxed when it comes to toilet paper. It's not similar to the case, the Gemara says, of somebody that got a piece of meat stuck between his teeth. Also, an issue of human dignity. If he wants to remove it and he wants to use a splinter, that's mukta. We don't care. We say you can't use it. Why? Because he should have been prepared with toothpicks before the meal. But when it comes to a bathroom, people don't know where they're going to have to use it. Maybe somebody will be occupied. I'll have to use a different bathroom. He can't be prepared. It's usher to walk on a plowed field, even during the weekday, because you're ruining the other person's plow. On Shabbos, there's another issue of using a bathroom in a plowed field because you might come to take a stone and cover a hole, and as we learned earlier, that consists of charisha. If it's in your house, that would be boina, smoothing out the floor. It's mutter to use a stone that has on the other side grass. If you pull the grass out, you're chayiv on toilish. But we're not concerned you'll do it. It's davar shenim skaven, and it's certainly not a psik reisha. The Gemara wants to bring a raya from here. In those days, they would plant planters that had holes in them and use them as kaparas, Rashi says. They would take it and go around their head 7 times and say, Zechalifasi, Zetmurasin, and throw it into the river, do a tashlach with the kaparas. You're allowed to lift it up on Shabbos even if it has grass growing on the bottom. Based on this halacha, that you're allowed to pick up a rock. Says the Gemara, what's the connection? Stone, I need to do it, I need it right now for human dignity, but I don't have to pick up this pot. Abayi says halacha, that if I have this pot with holes on it, and it's on top of a stand, and I lower it to the ground, that would be planting on Shabbos. Now it gets more moisture out of the ground. And if the reverse was on the ground and I put it on a stand on Shabbos, that would be toilish. Both these surim would be only midrabanan. Rabbi Yochanan says, not only is it usher to use earthenware during the weekday because of kishuv, even on Shabbos it's usher to use. You rather use a stone than earthenware, even though the earthenware is less muktzah than a stone because of kishuv. Rav explains Rabbi Yochanan that he's talking about the problem of goizes shearing here on Shabbos and it's davar shenim skaven, it's usher. The issue is that Rabbi Yochanan passes like the Stam Mishnah. The Stam Mishnah holds that a nazir could shampoo his head even though he might tear out some hair by mistake. Davar shenim skaven is mutter, and now we're saying it's usher. Rav Chizda and Rabbi Ravuna were on a boat. And a Goya wanted to go onto the boat, and they said no. So she said, if you don't let me go on, I'm going to stop the boat with kishuv. And she did. She didn't let the boat go, and they said something, and it started moving. She didn't realize, and she thought that her kishuv didn't work, and she said, the reason why it's not working is because you don't use earthenware as toilet paper, and you don't kill a louse on your clothing, and you don't take out vegetables from a bundle before you untie it. In other words, the Gemara, it seems like from the Gemara that Rabbi Chana and Chizd were over on these things, and that's why it did work, but she didn't realize it. Have a wonderful day.